Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. So part 1 of the global anniversary is about to drop, which includes 2 of the most exciting units that Dokkan has ever released. LR Carnival Blue Gogeta, and then of course the LR, Dokkan Fest LR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Well, it's not Legendary Super Saiyan Dragon Ball Super, it's a full power Super Saiyan. You guys know what it is, okay. So Gogeta's a Carnival leader, 200% to movie hero, which is obviously very good. One thing that you're going to find that's very good about Gogeta is he is pretty versatile. I mean, once you transform with him, maybe more so, but Gogeta is, in my estimation, probably the best Rainbow Orb changer in the game, which has incredible value. Rainbow Orb changing is really one of the strongest types of support you can have, and when you're running one of these top heavy teams full of LRs and stuff like that, it could be really good. To have a very, 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 very elite Rainbow Orb changer like Gogeta. But one thing that does hamstring this unit quite a bit is he unfortunately has the horrible mechanic that Broly has, that LR Blue Vegito has, that LR Fusion Zamasu has, and UI Goku as well, the new UI Goku. He transforms on turn 4, which is very good, but it's not turn 4 from the start of battle, it's Gogeta's turn 4. Now, the good news about Gogeta's transformation condition compared to a lot of the other characters like UI Goku and Broly and them, Gogeta's can be done on his second turn. So we could see one turn by base Gogeta. Base Gogeta, unfortunately, is not elite. He's very kind of like mid. It's just base Broly and base Gogeta are not that crazy. They're good. You're probably not going to lose because of them, but you're not going to win because of base Broly or base Gogeta either. Although Gogeta, of course, is Rainbow Orb changing, which is very good. But Gogeta, if we float him off, so this, as we can see, we're here on turn 1. If we float Gogeta off right here, when he comes back on turn 4, we can transform into Blue Gogeta. If we leave Gogeta on rotation, we cannot transform with him into Blue Gogeta. So that does create kind of a thing where, in these really crazy fights, it's going to be Supreme Magnificent Battle, is what the event is called now. What was formerly Supreme Battle Spectacle. In these fights, it's you really need to get into Blue Gogeta as quickly as possible, because Blue Gogeta has maybe the single strongest active skill in the game. It's in contention. When you transform into Blue Gogeta, your second turn in Blue Gogeta, he has the target mechanic, or what do they call it? Target attraction on global. He will draw all attacks towards him, and he has 100% dodge. So it is one of the strongest things any character can do in the game, and it is a boss killer. You do massive damage, 100% dodging, so it's great damage, great defense. This guy is going to be 100% critting, because, he permanently builds up crit in blue form. He's just really crazy. So you do want to transform into Blue Gogeta as quickly as you possibly can. So we're going to go ahead and show that here. Let's just kind of do this. I don't think Tech UI Goku is going to kill them. Is he? Oh, he probably could. Nah, I don't think so. And then we'll let Gogeta kind of handle business right here. Now, one important thing to remember with Gogeta, he has this ability both in blue and in base, is that Gogeta is going to get a guaranteed additional super with a Rainbow Orb. So Gogeta has a built-in additional with a 50% chance to super, and then with a Rainbow Orb, he gets a guaranteed additional super. So you always do want to make sure to get Rainbow Orbs for Gogeta. 250k right there. Link set right here, although it's not the biggest deal since you typically always want to float him. So, I mean, because of that, I would argue his links are probably not the biggest deal besides just helping out whichever character might be in slot 2. But he has Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, Over in a Flash, Fuse Fighter, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. So very obviously great link set right there. All right, let's go. Tech UI Goku is going to give us buffs when he super attacks. What is it? He gives allies 30% attack on his 12 key and allies 30% defense on his 18 key. The defensive part of those always is much more impactful than the offense. We have Krillin and Android 18. They're going to function as a support type character as well for us. So that'll be good for Gogeta. See Gogeta's damage potentially go way up. Now, I have wondered kind of to myself lately, I mean, this is just as they're kind of stepping up difficulty yet again, like they always do, with the Supreme Magnificent Battle stages that are coming out now. You need to be mega crazy right away. And Gogeta, it really does take Gogeta quite a while to get going, because you got to float him off right away. And then before you know it, it's like, you know, you're on turn 4. Most of the battle has happened with Gogeta not really impacting the fight too much. And then he shows up in blue, right? That's kind of a huge part of this character, is he is the closer on your team. What you're looking for with Gogeta is that he will be finishing the fight, right? You're going to need other characters like Beast Gohan. Beast Gohan and UI Goku synergize perfectly with Gogeta. That's the thing that all these superhero characters work perfectly together. They all synergize so good. But remember, you want to focus on Gogeta as your closing character. The point is, you know, once you get to the scariest part of the boss, towards the end of the fight, that is when Gogeta, again, will be able to put the fight away with his incredible active skill and stuff like that. But it does make me think, like, how many characters do I actually like more than Gogeta, who have a much more significant impact on the fight earlier when it is very, very important. That's something I do kind of wonder. All right, let me skip ahead until turn 4, because we floated Gogeta off. It's going to be several turns until he comes back. Let's come back on turn 4, and we'll transform with Blue Gogeta, and, you know, we'll get going here. All right, guys, so we're here on turn 4. Now, one thing you can do with leaving Gogeta in base, if we look at his super attack effects, on Gogeta's 18 key, he does stack defense. He gets 50% attack for 1 turn. That's a 30% defensive stack. And then on his 12 key, he gets 50% attack and defense for 1 turn, right? So, I mean, that obviously is nice right there. The defensive stack, I've found that Blue Gogeta can tank a lot of instances. If he does his barrage of super attacks first, Blue Gogeta, I've found that he can tank sometimes. Some of the biggest boss attacks, right? Like, some of these bosses, after they super and their damage is just so outrageous, he's not going to be able to tank it. But he does, I mean, for the most part, become a dodge or die character when he's in blue. But, like, one normal, it's not like we're running Harudagarn or something like that, where he's getting smacked for, like, 700k or something like that. Right, so, I mean, that's definitely very good. And, of course, remember that at all times, Gogeta is giving us that rainbow orb changing, which is very good. So let's go ahead and transform with Gogeta here. Alright, so Gogeta transforms. So the whole setup with this character, right, is turn 6, which, I mean, in my experience running the superhero team, and super bosses is like this as well, you don't really go past turn 6 very often in these fights. I'm so serious. Like, we're not going past turn 6 with these characters. So what we're looking to do here is Gogeta's super attack effect becomes very important once transformed. So Gogeta's 18 key super attack effect right here, he gets 100% attack for 4 turns. The point of this is to set up his active skill, the target mechanic, target attraction, which goes nuts. That's the point of that. So on the second turn, the damage is going to go way up because you have that huge built-up attack from his 18 key, right? And then from his 12 key, he gets 50% attack and defense for 1 turn. So, all right, we could just do this. We do have SDR Blue Gogeta, who, of course, is going to get the 100% chance to dodge a Roo right here. Let's just go ahead and hit that right there. Let's get this for Blue Gogeta. By the way, Blue Gogeta, at no point is physical Blue Gogeta, like, ever going to struggle for key. Ever is there going to be a problem. Remember, he is Rainbow Orb changing. And, I mean, in base, he just Rainbow Orb changes, right? So what's going to happen is he's going to show up on turn 4, Rainbow Orb change, you use your active skill, transform, and then he Rainbow Orb changes again, right? So it just, like, there's key, like, again, Blue Gogeta is the best Rainbow Orb Changer in the game. So he is just going to make things a lot easier. It's like, that's why the superhero team, like you guys saw, like I did a video, I beat every hard event in auto. I did everything. Like all the hard events you could think of. All of the Supreme Magnificent Battle stages, all the tough red zone stage, like we autoed it with the superhero team. It's because of how well these characters synergize, where Beast is dominant at the start, has his active skill, UI Goku, Evolution Blue, Vegeta are dominant, right? And then, of course, you get deeper, and then Gogeta will close shit out. A couple of those fights, you know, Cell Max typically is the hardest. The Supreme Magnificent Battle, Gogeta is the hard, another one that's really hard. And that's where this guy can come in. And then you see 18 million. He can quad super right here. He has 70% chance to dodge, and he can quad super. He is very good. He is super effective against all types, just baseline. And then every time he dodges, he builds up a permanent 20% chance to crit. Every time he dodges. Permanent 20% chance to crit. So after he does 5 dodges, he's guaranteed critting. So, I mean, you have this character who he's super effective against all types in base, he's super effective against all types in blue, and then he gets guaranteed crits as he gets his dodges in too. So it's like he is a very silly character, man. One thing, it's not the most common to see. Really, it's very good for like Red Zone movie boss rush. It actually would also be supremely good. Actually, it would make this guy a pretty good option. I probably should do a video on him just to really go over that. In the newest fight against Evolution Blue Vegeta and Blue Kaioken Goku in the Supreme Magnificent Battle, the end phase has a Ki Blast super. Gogeta has a Ki Blast counter. Alright, so we're going to get to this turn right here. We have, you know, Gohan and, or excuse me, we have Android 18 and Krillin right there. They're going to give us a little 2-turn support. And then we're going to go ahead and get to next turn, and we should see kind of like a god turn by Blue Gogeta. I don't know what Gogeta's damage is going to jump up to. I mean, maybe 20, like his 18 key might be like 27 million or 28 or something like that. It's going to get very high, because I'm also going to pop Tech UI Goku's domain, and hopefully we can have him super attack first. Although one thing is I guess I got to be a little careful with Tech UI Goku here, because his counters will eliminate that Rose right there. So, you know, we should be a little cautious with that. All right, so let's see what this next turn is going to look like, Gogeta's damage. But Gogeta will, you know, it's pretty rare Gogeta will lose you the fight unless you have to get him in slot 1. And, you know, he's going to be true dodge or die in slot 1 or against an enemy super attack. People will often say kind of dummy things like, well, you would never do that. Well, you know, sometimes shit happens. There's locking bosses. There's all types of shit. Sometimes you're going to want to put him in slot 1 and, you know, hope that he's going to come through for you. Okay, look at Rose. Okay. Oh, well, actually, no, we got something for him perfectly. All right, so we're on our second turn. Remember, Gogeta has stacked up a lot of damage from his 18 key super attack effect. So here's what we'll do. We'll pop UI Goku's domain, and then I'm going to pop Gogeta's active, and then UI Goku will super attack. He's going to give extra damage to Gogeta, but all the Rose attacks are going to be aimed at Gogeta. And then by the time we get to Gogeta, Gogeta's going to be doing guaranteed crits. It's going to be very nasty. Gogeta is one of the best units in the game. The only thing with him is it takes him a little while to get going, but it is worth the wait. Like this, seeing that Gogeta with his active skill up typically means you've won, and the enemy can do nothing about it. All right, so Gogeta drops that, and I mean, that could crit for, 20 plus million. The damage, that does real damage. That is a very heavy hitting attack, big time. All right, so let's do this. So do we have 7 out of 7 for Gogeta right here? We do, right? Yep, we have all 7 links activated. So that's Warrior Gods he has now. Then Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, Over in a Flash, Fuse Fighter, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. All right, so this is kind of a God turn. And there's Gogeta with 900k defense. Remember, he's going to get his super attack effects. If there is kind of one negative for Gogeta, one thing that I don't like is that his 18k super attack effect is awesome, obviously. 100% attack for 4 turns. He doesn't get any defense from that, though, which, certainly could be nice. Just to kind of keep him from being kind of like a true dodge or die type character. We have moved beyond dodge or die. I know people know me as the dodge guy, but in truth, they don't really understand my thoughts on dodge. Dodge or die, a lot of times I've found it's just not fun anymore, right? Like, STRUI Goku and Rudigarn and these true dodge or die characters just dying like fish is not really fun. Gogeta, though, can operate beyond that, where in slot 2 or slot 3, normals usually are not going to be an issue. I mean, maybe it's type disadvantage or something like that, sure. Or it's one of the biggest bosses, like, Blue Gogeta after he supers, sure. Those could be an issue. But, he can tank normals typically, and he has dodge for the super attack, which is good. All right, so let's see what Gogeta's damage is again. Probably 27, 28, something like that. Yeah, 20, 29, basically. This is a guaranteed crit. Remember, every time he dodges, he gets permanent 20% crit, so that's just completely built up. So by this point now, he has guaranteed crit. And that's the whole point, is you do the target mechanic, he gets a bunch of dodges, and he has guaranteed crit. And then he goes on his barrage. His killing spree is what this is. Again, usually when you see that active skill, you've won. I don't know if I could ever even think of a time where I've lost after getting his active skill. I feel like his active skill is just that crazy. So there's Gogeta. Again, he's Broly kind of operates in the same way, where once you transform with Broly, and Broly is able to connect with the enemy, actually touch them and hit them, Broly typically is putting the enemies away as well. Right, Broly and Gogeta both are doing insane amounts of damage. So let me know what you guys think of the Carnival Blue Gogeta. We kind of went over the basics of him, a lot of his different stuff. He's very good. He, of course, is going to be on quite a few teams, superhero, movie hero. Gogeta characters are typically on kind of like content that becomes missions, right? Like he's on, stuff like Time Limit, right? And a bunch of these other different categories, so we can actually be able to get kind of the full advantage of this guy helping in a lot of these missions, right? What is it? The mission Time Limit against Super Buu, Powerful Comeback, Final Trump Card. A lot of these types of categories usually have missions, Power Bestowed by God, or Power Beyond Super Saiyan. So Gogeta is definitely one of the best characters in the game, and very deep into the fight, he's going to be one of the most dynamic characters in the game. Once that active comes up, it's over. I mean, his active is in 99% of events, or I guess if you have Tech UI Goku around, his active is better than Beast Gohan's, because he is actually hitting, usually if you could crit for 20 plus million he hits for, and then he draws all attacks towards him and has 100% dodge. Remember, too, that a lot of these, Supreme Magnificent Battle bosses, they stun you, they seal you and shit like that. So Beast can tank it, but then he gets locked down by the boss debuff. Gogeta will dodge it, though. So Gogeta does just have a much stronger active. The difference, though, is that Beast Gohan basically can use it the entirety of the fight whenever you choose to, whereas Gogeta's is the very, very end closing kind of curtain on the fight. So, again, let me know what you guys think of 9th Anniversary Blue Gogeta, an exceptional character. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.